In this tutorial, I'm going to start using the optional marking menus interface so you can see how it works. So first, I'm going to close my palette tools and also the display section on the control panel, and instead hold down the Shift and Control keys together and use the 3 mouse buttons to access the tools. So the picking tools on the first mouse, the transform tools on the second, and the pivot and CV display tools on the third. So I'll start by using Pick Object to select the top cube. And if I use the random colour shader here, you can see that it's made up of 6 different faces, which I can also see in the object lister, where it shows the cube as a grouped node of 6 separate surfaces. So if I want to work with the CVs on the cube, I can select the object and use the marking menus to turn on the CV display. And then if I do a Pick Nothing and a Pick CV, here on the edge there are 2 CVs, one belonging to this side face and one to the top face. So if I want the surfaces to hold together as I sculpt them, then I need to use a drag select and make sure that I pick all the CVs together. So then if I center the pivot and scale, then the 6 faces stay joined as I sculpt them, and I can give the cube a more interesting shape. Now, if I had made a mistake and moved one of the CVs on its own and created a gap, then I can easily fix that by moving it again using a point snap. So coming close to but not touching this CV, and then snapping the edges together again. So I'll just pick the whole object and turn the CVs off now, and then take a look at the lower section. And here if I turn the CVs on, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of CVs. But if I don't want this to bend, then I can reduce that to the minimum in both directions, so that I just have CVs at each corner. And then I can just scale these out to create more of an obelisk shape. And it's not only cubes that are grouped. These cylinders are also groups. And we can see in the object lister that it's a group of the body and 2 end caps, which I can select here. But I can also select items within a group using the Pick Component tool, which will select just the surface that I click on. So for example, I could just turn on the CVs for that top surface. Now this has rows of 8 CVs going around it. So if I wanted to give that a crown, I would do a drag select for the center CVs, and then just use Pick Hull for the outer rows. And then I can just move that upwards. Maybe just unpick that outer hull and move it up a bit more. And because I moved those last rows together, it stayed smooth across the top. Now up here at the top of the angled arm, I can do the same. So I'll use Pick Component again, just to turn on the CVs for this top surface. And then I can pick the CVs and hulls again to give it a crown. But this time when I move it with the right mouse button, it's clearly moving in the world axis direction. But the Move tool has the same options as the Rotate tool, so I can choose to work in the local axis direction instead. And you can see it here. And then I get the result that I want. And again, the top has stayed smooth because I moved all the CVs together. Now if you like the idea of using the 3 marking menus, either the default ones or the simpler ones I've been using, then take a look at the next tutorial which shows you how to set them up.